Sanitizing is preparing this system for installation on the office LAN, or sort of basically off this rather protected, what we call red network in the workshop. The red network, for instance, has port isolation turned on for all the clients, so this client is only able to speak to the server, the red server. It's not able to communicate with any of the other clients on the red LAN. You know, there might be 10 to 20 of them. One of the reasons is they all have the same computer name, and that can cause havoc. So the first thing to sanitize really is Device Manager. Just start that up. Sorry, a bit of a tangle of what. So there's a couple of, four devices which haven't started because they haven't got appropriate drivers. Now the first thing to try is Windows Update. Windows Update, for some reason, although it does run during the installation, doesn't find all the drivers, so we want the optional ones, drivers. Now, really haven't any idea what these things are. Certainly isn't. It's not a Dell monitor. That's a display driver. Probably don't need that one. Could be a camera. System. These are all firmware things that, like service management buses. Whoa. Okay. Basically, just install everything that you think might be suitable, and then all the. Crikey, this is actually rather a lot. So more than I was expecting. Just do all of them, and you know, any driver that's covered. It is actually an HP, this one. Download, install, and all the drivers will be updated. Otherwise, you have to do them one at a time. Okay, well, we'll just pause while that occurs. Okay, that's it finished. So it's pending restart, which we can do later. If we have a look at Device Manager, all the drivers have now been found and the thing's ready to go. So I'm just going to do a restart just to keep things good. Yeah, that's it back. Just double check Device Manager. Yeah, that's good. So the next thing to do is to, you've probably been intrigued by this script here. This is the script that will sanitize the system. And the first thing it does is it looks up the serial number in our database and has found it. Now whenever a system comes into the workshop, whether it's being wiped, imaged, or anything, we do log the serial number and the appropriate asset number that goes with it. So this one's been found. It's been done before. So continue, and I'll show you the script later. Now that was changing the computer name from the name of the image to serial number with a leading S, and then it goes through some other checks that the system is permanently activated. The bit that we missed actually was this line here, posting data to server 1. That's actually writing the would be writing the serial number and the associated asset number, but also all the other details of the machine, like its CPU, the amount of memory it's got, the size of the disks, number of disks, the manufacturer, model, things like that. And we'll have a look at that. And now it runs through a couple of other checks just to make sure that it's the license is good, and that the Windows Defender doesn't need any another run, and that's good. Now also notice that at the end of it is removed the script. Perhaps I should have showed you the script before I ran it. So I'm just going to get another copy of that. Okay, so I've got another copy off the server. just so I can show you. This is going to be in the comments incidentally, so you can make it your own. One thing I wanted to say about drivers actually is that Windows Update worked on this machine. Sometimes drivers aren't found by Windows Update, and I have done another video which I'll put the details of in the comments to enable you to download from the manufacturer you know, a particular driver that's not available through Windows Update and store it on the server so that you can use it in the future. Anyway, going back to the script, it's well, first of all it gets the serial number, then it looks it up. Now it looks it up by looking in HTTP in this directory, asset serial, there it is, finds it, if it does find it. Otherwise it'll ask you what the serial is and then record it later. There's various checks in here to make sure it's a good number. Then it goes and collects all the information. That's still checking. It's padding with zeros, so if you do get asked what the asset number is, you can just type in the numbers without the leading zeros. Now it's getting all the information about what this system is. It's putting that together, and it's writing it into a JSON file, and this is where it posts it to the server. Now the server's running Django, and I'll show you how to set that up. It's really simple and really very efficient in situations like this where you're just posting information. There's various checks to make sure that Django actually is running, because obviously it's a disaster if it's not, and you need to sort that out immediately. Okay, so that's that, and this is renaming the computer. So it starts a process running as administrator, and you can't quite see there. I thought it had Windows minimized. Okay, I don't know what's happened to this version. It hasn't got Windows minimized in it. Anyway, runs it as a separate process, renames the computer, and there's the licensing check. And this is a check to make sure that all the drivers have been installed and are actually working. So it uses PNP util to list anything with a problem, and if there is a problem, it lists it. In which case you can tackle that. And this is running the Windows Defender check. So at this point, the system is ready to put on the Office LAN, and you'll obviously have to you'll have to run another script to sort it out on the Office LAN. For instance, this hasn't been an out-of-the-box experience, so usernames, usernames, passwords, joining domains, and all the things like that be done on the Office LAN. While it's still in the workshop LAN or the red network, the Active Directory isn't available to it. Just as well, actually. So that's sanitizing the system after installation, and as you can see, it's pretty much automated.